Hi guys, it's Lisa, the spiritual and sassy therapist, coming back to talk more about some new realizations that I'm having about how to use this pandemic time to really help foster our growth and even more specifically, maybe our spiritual growth. So, one of the things that I realized is that coming into this pandemic situation, part of me was very determined of like, okay, I have to like really get something out of this. I have to really make this time like meaningful and growth oriented and whatever. And so I was really wanting this to be a time of great breakthrough. And one of the things I learned, I kind of forget if it was from Brene Brown or Kyle Cease, but one of them said, you can't force a breakthrough. They just unfold as they're supposed to. So I've had to realize that I can't force this into a breakthrough time, but what I had realized is that my intention to want a breakthrough has kind of put it out to the universe, and maybe having this extra time and extra reflection going on for myself, that I might not be having like a big giant aha type of a breakthrough, but what might be happening instead is some additional clarity and time to work on some of the things that I've already known that I'm supposed to kind of be working on. So, how might that look? What am I talking about here? So, I want to first start in talking about what I would call signs. Signs from the universe, from God. It's kind of however you want to look at it. I look at signs as little pieces of guidance that just help nudge me in the right direction, that give me a sense of validation that I am on the right path, moving in the right direction. And I kind of receive them myself in a lot of different ways. Sometimes signs come to me as a song that comes on the radio that's just exactly right at that exact right moment, and maybe it's not a song that's on the radio very often. Sometimes signs are, I'm reading a book that I'm reading every single day, but when I open it up to continue reading one day, like, wow, that first paragraph is like exactly where I'm at right now. That's really weird. A lot of times, I'm on Facebook a lot because, I'm an old person, I guess. And there will just be odd timing of articles that will come across my news feed or memes that come across. But again, it's like, it's looking at it in like the right timing of like, wow, that's really weird. I was just thinking about that and not saying it out loud, because I know we all think about, different social media things like listening to what we're talking to and then posting stuff. It's not stuff that I'm saying out loud, it's just things that are in my head, and then boom, there it is. So there's a lot of different thinking out there about, if you were to believe in signs, like where is that coming from? So some people would believe that the signs are coming from their spirit guides, their guardian angels, God, their loved ones on the other side. Other people that maybe follow things like the law of attraction would say a little bit more of like, it has to do with your energy that you're putting out into the universe, and then it's just matching up with what you're looking for and showing it to you. And that happens in, ways that we want and ways that we don't want. To me, I don't know, my beliefs on stuff change all the time, as I think that they should. It might be a combination of both. I don't really know, and it's okay that I don't have a clear answer. I just have to trust that, to me, it's coming from something good, or at least that I can use it for good. So I want to give some examples, I guess, of how I've seen this sort of show up for me in the last, well, I guess it's been showing up, but I'm just sort of having the aha realizations of it now. So a lot of times for me, it happens in steps and stages. So the other day I was looking on Facebook. And across my news feed is a guy that I follow named Charlie Goldsmith, who had a TV show called The Healer. And, I see him on there all the time, but I don't always stop and watch his videos. But on this day I did. And he was talking about how he chooses to not charge for healing, which is actually something that I have chosen for myself as well, with the type of energy healing that I do, that most of the time I don't charge. Charlie kind of validated that being okay for me years ago. But so that kind of hooked me in, because I heard him say that again the other day. And then he was talking about how, even though he doesn't charge anything for the healing that he does, and his intent is to help people, and he, right out of the gate says, like, listen, I'm going to do my best, but I can't heal everybody's everything. That even though he's coming from a pure place, people in pain will always still sling pain at you. And that he has had to learn how to be okay with receiving criticism and other people's pain coming at him. That he's had to accept that if I want to do the thing that I feel called to do, and that I want to help people and feel good about helping people, I also have to accept this part too. So that was something that I feel like I really needed to hear, because in starting to make these videos and starting to actually publish them, I had a lot of fear about what people were going to say and what their reactions would be. Would they approve? Would they disapprove? That kind of thing. Would I get criticism from people that I know? Would I get criticism from people that I don't know? And so I kind of needed to hear that piece again. That to be reminded of, yes, you will have criticism if you're doing anything that's worthwhile, right? And then similarly, that kind of made me reflect, maybe a week or two ago, again, being led to, I was watching some training videos on the EMDR stuff that I do for my therapy work, and the first person that was recommended to me, I'm watching and I'm like, she is so incredibly knowledgeable, and yet I'm not resonating. I just can't connect with her. An old pattern story me would feel bad about that, right? I must be doing it wrong if everybody likes this person and I can't connect with them. Nope, that's old story stuff. So, but then I followed the next lead that I got, again on the same topic, and this person not only was giving me what I needed, but ironically, a little reminder sign coming in too, that she happened to also be talking about the same thing that I was struggling with, right? Of some of her work that she was trying to publish, and getting judgment and criticism that it didn't have the right tone and whatnot, and really having to do her own work on it's okay if my tone doesn't match what everyone thinks it should be. So I look at those kinds of things as signs of just that gentle direction to remind me of the things that I know that I need to hear. Another way that it's shown up, just because I want to give examples of how it shows up differently or in different ways. So I was listening to a podcast with Brene Brown and a guy that I apologize, I can't remember his name. He was an author, and he had written a book about loneliness. So sorry, I can't remember. But he talked in there about the three types of loneliness being, we can be lonely in terms of not having a partner to connect with, not having friends or a peer group to have a connection with, and to not have a connection with a larger, greater community. And I heard that and I was like, oh my gosh, yes, I've been thinking about that I've been missing a sense of community connection for a long while now. And so hearing that was kind of part one of my guidance, I guess. And then I happened to be cleaning out an old filing cabinet and going through all my junk and stuff, and I came across notebooks that I had taken a ton of notes on a business group that I used to be involved with. And while I don't miss the business piece of it for this particular business, what I realized in reading it, it was like, again, man, I actually really miss being a part of a community of people where we're all like helping each other out and encouraging each other and pushing each other to do great things. And then I realized, like, after that, like, I started having conversations with other people who happened to also kind of say the same thing of like, yeah, I really miss like connecting with whatever type of group of people. So the signs, I think, are just reminders to me of the things that I knew were already issues, things that I needed to be working on. But just kind of maybe with this extra time I have right now, or extra reflection that I'm doing right now, that I'm hearing them differently. I have a little bit more openness to be paying attention to the signs and then doing the work that I need to do that follows. So what I would invite you to do would be first to start to look at during this pandemic time, like what things have been triggering me, or what things have I just learned about myself that that I have a greater awareness of, that I want more of when things go back to normal. So starting with just like paying attention to that stuff, and then creating an intention, if you will, or just praying, or however would make sense for you, of just saying like, okay, here's where I want some guidance on. And then you have to let it go. You can't force signs to show up for you. If you look too hard, you're actually going to create energetic resistance and then they won't show up for you. So putting the intention out there and then letting it go. And then being open to seeing and feeling the signs. And I think that the way that we know is like when we come across one, we like, yeah, like it brings with it a sense of clarity or validation. And then you just want to follow that momentum. So whatever guidance that gave you, follow it. Follow it to just the next step. It doesn't mean it has to be a big giant step. It just means, what's my next step? So I love bringing spiritual awareness into our everyday life and into our growth, and I actually tend to bring a lot of it into even my therapy practice, because it gives us a roadmap. It gives us some guidance. So I invite all of you to go on that adventure for yourself, and certainly by all means, please like and follow this, and share it with your friends so that we can all benefit from it. So I hope that you each enjoy the adventure. See ya.